Do you remember what you were doing when you were in elementary school? Were you having a good time and just playing in the sandbox? What about now? You're all in high school, you're getting your licenses, you're earning your diplomas. In a few years, you'll attend university, you'll start a family, and you'll live a life. But can you imagine what things would be like if you were taken at a very young age and forced to work up until now and for the rest of your life? Millions of people, over 27 million people, mostly women and children, are trafficked around the world for the purpose of labor and exploitation. They've known only working in poor conditions their entire lives, and they can't experience some of the privileges that we may take for granted on a daily basis. This is defined as human trafficking. Human trafficking is, simply put, the act of recruiting and receiving a person through force or other means for the purpose of making a profit. Every year, millions of people, over 27 million, fall victim to human trafficking, either in their own country or abroad. Human trafficking is a lucrative industry and is the fastest growing criminal business. According to the United Nations Office for Drugs and Other Crime, it is second only to drug trafficking as the most profitable illegal industry in the world, and it continues to grow every day. Human trafficking is defined as 3 different stages. There's the act, the means, and the purpose. Victims of human trafficking are not allowed to leave once they are captured. They are held against their will and forced to work and serve their owners. There are essentially 3 different types of labor. There's bonded labor, forced labor, and then there's sex trafficking. Although bonded labor is the least known form of human trafficking, it is the most widely used method. A victim becomes a bonded laborer when they are forced to work as a repayment for some sort of debt. However, usually this repayment, the work for the repayment outnumbers how much the debt is worth. Forced labor is when a victim must work against their own will under threats of punishment. And this can include working in the agricultural industry, like working in the fields picking cotton, working in sweatshops and making clothes for minimal or no money, working in restaurants, and begging or panhandling on the streets. And then there's sex trafficking, which is the most easily targeted by traffickers. Victims can include runaway teens, refugees, kidnapped victims, and drug addicts who need the money to fuel their habits. They perform sexual acts for repayment for their owner, and usually the sums are very high, which means this would be a very profitable industry. In fact, the FBI reports that statistically, human trafficking is an over $7 billion annual industry. Victims are subject to gross human rights, such as rape, torture, starvation, threats to their family, and even murder. For example, children who may be living in the slums of India would be taken and grouped at different camps. They would be taught how to sing and dance, and then they would be mutilated. So their hands would be chopped off, or acid would be poured into both eyes so that they would be blinded for the rest of their lives. Then they are sent to the streets to beg. The disfigurement is to attract sympathy so that they would get more money, or they may have a child at a very early age so as to attract more customers. Team WMI, which is a human rights organization, cites that slavery is also found in many parts of Europe, such as Russia, and Haiti, and in many parts of Asia, such as Thailand or China. However, human trafficking is not limited to just first world countries. It can be found in even our own backyard. There have been cases reported in San Jose, so literally only a couple of blocks from Valley, of sex trafficking and forced labor in closed homes and in restaurants. Now, the first biggest step to stopping human trafficking is to stay informed. The largest abolitionist movement is a company called Not For Sale. It is based in the Bay Area, but it fights in other countries as well. They deploy search and rescue teams, and they rescue survivors. They offer many ways that you can help. For example, on their website, there is a slavery map, where you can track and report cases via Google Maps to raise flags for other people to avoid doing business in these areas. So, for example, San Jose is right there, and you can see there are a whole bunch of different reports of human trafficking. Not for Sale also offers an abolitionist academy where people can attend lectures and lessons about staying informed. And once someone graduates this academy, they can study abroad and join rescue teams. They can also join clubs in various universities that is sponsored by Not for Sale. If you don't want to join Not for Sale, or if you don't really have the commitment for it, you can attend something right here in the Bay Area called the Freedom Summit. It's an annual conference about human trafficking, and this year it's held at Harbor Light Church in Fremont from January 25th to the 26th. So over the weekend, you can attend the conference and listen to different speakers, which are usually CEOs and founders of different abolitionist companies, such as Not for Sale. And lastly, at Valley, we have the Abolitionist Society. The Abolitionist Society is a lunchtime club that meets every Tuesday at lunch in room 108, which is Mrs. Marshall's room. And it helps inform the students on our campus about human trafficking. We hold fair trade potlucks, we bring guest speakers, and we watch movies. And even if you're not a part of this club, you can help right now. We recently partnered with a company called Freedom House to sponsor the holiday drive, which supports opening a new shelter for rescued teenage girls. So you can bring toilet paper, towels, wash products, and gift cards to places such as Target or Lucky's, and you can put them in the boxes such as that one over there, and they're scattered in your Bible classes and around school. It's a really easy way to make an impact, and it literally only takes a minute. All you have to do is clean out your cupboards for stuff that you don't want and drop it in the box. So in conclusion, human trafficking is a big problem that does need to be addressed. Millions of people are forced and they need to be protected or rescued. Companies such as Not for Sale and our very own Abolitionist Society are ways that students can help. Human trafficking can be stopped, and it starts with being informed, and it starts with you.